Welcome back to Nick Lynch's Comic Corner, Classics as Non-Classics. This is episode number 632 and Doubleshot number 536. Two X-Men related trades. First one is a trade I haven't reviewed and probably from a series I've reviewed probably about 2 years. I think so. It's the return of Astonishing X-Men. Yeah, this series originally ended actually as of this year. They brought this back last year after they've been gone for about 4 years. This is a series I really wanted to see come back, and thank you, Marvel, for bringing this title back. Yeah, this is one of two, basically, I want to see Marvel bring back. And, of course, give a solo series for Doctor Strange. All three series came past. This is Astonishing X by Charles Soule, Volume 1, Life of X. As, well, written by Charles Soule, but he writes. Now, this collects the first 6 issues of Astonishing X-Men Volume 4. These are the artists. Now, there's different artwork every issue. I don't know why in the world that Marvel did this for every issue, different artists. Okay, the first issue, the artwork is done by Jim Chewing. Second issue is Mike Deodato Jr. 3 is Ed McGuinness. 4 is Carlos Paccio. 5 is Ramon Rosias. And 5 is Mike Del Mundo. Yeah. The thing about this particular storyline is this. The X-Men, well, this lineup consisted of Archangel, Phantom X, Bishop, Mystique, Psylocke, Rogue, Gambit, and Old Man Logan. Now, when I saw the lineup for this, I'm like, okay, I don't have a problem with any other people here except for Logan. I mean, at this point, when this came out last, this is actually one of about 4 titles he was featured in. Yes, one of 4. Along with X-Men Gold, his own solo series, and Weapon X. The guy was in 4 titles. Thank you, Marvel, for basically probably listening to me. Like, the guy was in way too many titles. I think now it's been struck down to about 2. Yeah, he's not featuring Gold anymore. He has since left that roster. This particular he's gonna be in. It gives me off the team with issue 12, and he's just down to just his solo title soon because he's going to be replaced. He's going to be getting a new lineup with, in the case of Weapon X. Now, in the case of the main villain of the storyline, the Shadow King. It had been the first time in a few years anybody has seen this guy. I guess last time the guy showed up was in the Nightcrawler ongoing series. Yeah, that was the last time he was seen. And it's great to see Gambit in a regular X-Men title. Now, he was brought back to X-Men title properly. X-Men properly thanks to his appearances in the first arc in the first handful of issues of X-Men Gold, and eventually spun him off this. Rogue, this is the first time since 2013 that she's been on any X-Men title. Yeah, because what she's been doing for the past 6 years? You want to know? She's been over in Kenny Avengers, and this was at one point one of 2 titles she's featured in. But since Kenny Avengers just apparently decided to go on hiatus and since so far not come back yet, so yeah, there's a possibility the series will be canceled. In the case of Psylocke, she was just featured in Uncanny X-Men. It's great the fact she's in a title again. Same thing with Mystique. Mystique, Psylocke, and Archangel were just featured in Uncanny X-Men. It's great the fact they moved over here. In the case of Bishop, this is the first time when this title came out last year. This is the first time since Cable and X-Force ended that he had been featured, and actually first time since Uncanny X-Force Volume 2 since that Vendetta crossover back in 2013. Yeah, it had been 4 years since I had seen the guy. It was awesome to see him. And it's great he's back to his classic look that he's known for having. You know, the short, the goatee, the M. Yeah, it's great the fact that the artist of the series got a chance to go back to his look instead of having the long beard and a very long hair. Yeah, the way he was in the Sam Humphries run from Kenny X-Force was so bizarre. And Psylocke is kind of loosely back to her more traditional attire she's known for having, though she did have like a big X of an outfit before. Mystique, of course, is either in this outfit or her black attire. Gambit is usually in his traditional attire. Rogue has been wearing the same outfit for several years. Also, apparently, Archangel's had this thing where either, yes, he's merged with the actual Warren Warrington. He's basically kind of like a shapeshifter. He can basically be Warren Warrington or he can be Archangel. It's really weird. Phantom X, as far as I know, this is the first time he's featured in any X book since X-Force ended back in 2014, I think it is. Yeah, the end of Cy Spurrier's run. It's great to see him, and here's the thing. He's one of 2 Grant Morrison characters who are still active to this very day. You know the other one is? Negasonic Teenage Warhead. That one has a reason because she was in the Deadpool films. Phantom X, it's great to see this guy, and the fact I have another trade I'm going to review in a future episode that does feature him on the roster. A roster he stuck with for about a few years before he ended the particular run for the book. Yeah. And there's a lot of action, of course, taking on the British military. They get briefly involved in this. And mostly it's just fighting the Shadow King on the astral plane. And Soule kind of resurrects Charles Xavier here after Bendis said, oh yeah, not while I'm writing the X books and bringing back Xavier. Yeah, because a lot of people believe, and I agree with this too, killing off Xavier is probably one of the stupidest ideas Marvel came up with during the course of AVX. Having him die was by far quite dumb, and the fact the guy had done practically nothing at that point for about a few years. So you kill off a character who was a long-standing member of the franchise, and he gets killed off by frickin' Cyclops. Yeah. So this is possibly his return, though it's later to be Shadow King later on, but yeah. This is going to be the first of 2 trades to collect this run, because this run is going to be ending in issue 12 and in issue 13, and this of course after the emails come out. Matthew Rosenberg is taking over the writing duties of this book with Greg Land as the artist, which is going to be very bizarre. And the new lineup for this particular series, once it starts with issue 13, this is the lineup that it's going to be, because of changing the lineup, it is going to be Beast, Colossus, Dazzler, Havoc, and Warpath. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. So, none of the previous members from this run are going to be... So, as of what these characters could be doing, well, Logan still have his ongoing title, so that's so great. As for Rogue and Gambit, well, they were featured in a team-up miniseries, which I think was just referenced, I believe, in an issue of X-Men Gold. But who knows what they're going to do. Mystique, no idea what she's going to do. As everybody else, no idea what they're going to do with these characters. I hope they give them like another book or print them on some other title. This is great. I'm going to give this a 9.5 out of 10. Really awesome title, and this was by far Soule's 4th title that he was put on. And then he just leaves after a year. Really odd. And he's not even writing the annual. The annual is written by Matthew Rosenberg, though Havoc's going to be part of the roster. Though they did finally turn back to being good after being evil for the past few years. Right? Next up is X-Men Domino. The only reason why this trade exists, because she's in the Deadpool 2 film, and of course she's got her ongoing series. Excuse me. This trade collects the first 2 miniseries that she had. The first one came out in 1997, which was a 3-issue limited series. The second volume, which was in 2003, that lasted for 4 issues. And of course you have the X-Force Sex and Violence miniseries. Stories from X-Force and Cable Annual 95, A+X number 10, and Uncanny X-Men Annual number 1. These who does these books. The X-Force and Cable story, that's done by, the writing is done by Todd DeZio and artwork's by Direct Glass. The first volume for Domino is done by Ben Rabb, he's the writer for it, and the artwork is done by David Pochran. The second volume is written by, it has 2 writers, and though the second writer is the artist and the colorist of the book. The first is the writer, is Joel Perro. The other co-writer is Brian Sterflees. He's actually a very nice guy. The X-Force X-Files miniseries done by Craig Kyle and Chris Yost, artwork by Gabriel Dell'Otto. A+X number 10. This is writing and artwork by Adam Warren. I'll show off the artwork for that. It's very bizarre. And the X-Men Annual is written, drawn, and colored by Anthony Piper. Yeah, mostly in the case of the first few miniseries, it's just basically, well, Domino doing solo stuff. Like her finding out that in one miniseries she finds out she has a brother. Yeah, Domino's got a brother, and she's looking for this guy, Truman, who later revealed to be her husband. Yeah, Domino at one point was actually married, and her name Domino is actually her husband's nickname for her. And yeah, and fights against various people. Now, in the first miniseries, the main villain of that one is, of course, of all people, Lady Deathstrike. Yeah, I'm not kidding. Lady Deathstrike. She fights Lady Deathstrike in the miniseries. Also, she teams with Puck for one issue. Let's see if I can find a good picture of Lady Deathstrike in her original appearance. Yeah, originally look was this right here. Yeah, this was her look. But during the course of her fight with Domino, she, well, lost most of her look. And ended up like this. Yeah, this is how, after surviving an explosion, how she looks. Yeah, because Lady Deathstrike is a cyborg. That's how she's alive, though. She's still got organic parts. Yeah, this is a fun little mini-series, and the second one is where she finds out about her brother. I think this is the one that Brian Surflees does. Yeah, this is his. This is him. This is Brian Surflees' interior artwork. The guy is a really damn good artist. Yeah, just Domino going at various stuff. Of course, finding out about her brother, meets up with her mother. She's been searching for her for a while. Now, what about the X-Force Sex and Violence miniseries? Oh boy, this one. It's a good miniseries. Okay. Domino apparently stole a truck full of money, and she asked Wolverine to help her out against these testicles. She's to tell him later on, until a little bit later, and the Razor Fist brings up that, says, "Where's the money?" And Wolverine's like, "Where's the money? What is he talking about?" And of course, she later shows him that apparently she accidentally stole $237 million from the Assassin's Guild. And then they got out of the way, and what did these two decide to do? Go to the hotel and start having sex. Not kidding, they do this right in issue 2, so they have sex. Yeah, one of, Wolverine is probably by far one of, 4 guys who actually slept with Domino. First it was Cable, and then Wolverine. And then Domino has sex for about several years with Colossus, and now she's trying to get on with Warpath and Weapon X. It's like, okay, so, Domino, are you sleeping around with various different famous X-Men? Because apparently the writers just love having her have sex with various different people, though she's never shown to have sex with Cable, but it's implied they've had sex because they made out several times. Wolverine, that's definite. Colossus is a definite. And it's implied she's going to get on with Warpath. Yeah, it's... And if you wonder what the artwork looks like for X-Force Sex and Violence, this is the artwork. I actually like this artwork, and just by sheer coincidence, this is the same artwork they did for X-Force Volume 3. Now, I kind of theorized for this particular miniseries that this took place this took place before Narosha happened, because Warpath is still on the team, and X-23 is on the team as well. This last one, the A plus X issue, it's just the backup story of Scarlet Witch and Domino team up with each other, and this is the artist how they drew both Domino and Scarlet Witch. They look like cute little girls. It's so really bizarre. Yeah. It's kind of similar to how the artists for Seven Deadly Sins draw their characters would look like they have rosy cheeks. Yeah, and it looks like, wow, it's like, and kind of like big puffy lips. And it's kind of like, yeah, the readers know Scarlet Witch is hot. People also know Domino's hot as well. There's one particular story I'm a little surprised they throw it in here. It probably would have been so funny if they threw this in here. There's a story from Jeff Loeb and him against his run for Hulk, where it was set during Fall of the Hulks, where Domino's facing off against Red She-Hulk, and because she damaged Red She-Hulk's clothes, what does Red She-Hulk do? Strip Domino butt naked, and this is in the middle of a construction site, of all things. And then she's saved by Elektra. Actually, this was, of course, during Cold Red, not Fall of the Hulks, but the main presence took place during Fall of the Hulks. And then, like, Elektra's like, and Domino's telling Elektra, couldn't you at least grab my clothes as well? Do you want to face off against? You want to at least face off against her again? But it's so hilarious the fact that Domino got stripped butt naked in a construction site. Yeah, that would have been funny if they threw that in here, but I guess, well, I guess in the case of the people put together this, I guess they figured out it's not a Soule Domino story, so no. So, yeah, various different solo stories. All of them pretty good. I like them. I would probably say, now the first two Domino series are really good, and my personal guess is the reason I throw these in here now, not just because she's in Deadpool 2, because she has because she has an ongoing series right now written by Gail Simone, and of course Rick Land's doing the covers, but thank God he's not doing the interior covers. What did I get this book? I'm gonna get this book roughly a 9.5 out of 10. It's really good. I like the stories in here. Now, Sex and Violence, I didn't initially read them when this came out. I read it online and House Run and Trade. It's a weird series. And also, in issue 2, like, not long after Domino and Wolverine have sex, Bushwhacker shows up. Yeah, Punisher villain Bushwhacker, who's also enemy of Daredevil. And he shows up at the hotel, of course, because he's working for the Assassin's Guild at this point. And Wolverine fights him and then slits the guy's throat. I'm not kidding, he actually does. He kills a guy who was virtually unkillable, and he kills him by slitting his throat. And as far as I know, the guy is still dead. And this miniseries only came out... Let's see, how long ago was this miniseries? Let's see, this came out in... Let's see if I can find it here. I think this came out roughly like about... I think it was about 2009, I think it was. Yeah, it came out only roughly about 9 years ago. And as far as I know, I guess because Bushwhacker is dead, he can't be featured in Punisher comics anymore. Nope. Oh yeah, and the guy and the only villain that appeared in all 3 issues was Razor Fist. Yeah, he's a minor villain, but it's something, the fact he's a recurring joke in this series. And apparently Domino really wanted to kill Wolverine wanted to kill him, but I guess that Wolverine, and then at the end of the miniseries, after they defeated the Assassin's Guild with the help of X-Force, mind you, apparently Wolverine and Domino run off. Apparently they're gonna have sex again. Yeah, with Razor Fist in the trunk of Domino's car. And of course, the only way it's implied these two are gonna have sex again is because Domino is unzipping her top right in front of Wolverine. My personal guess is the reason why I should say because Wolverine is one of the very few men who's actually wearing clothes on. Yeah. So there's that. So that's it for this episode. Stay tuned for the next episode, which is episode 633 and Doubleshot number 539. I think it's 39, isn't it? I think that's next episode. Let me take a look at that. No, it's not 39. It's going to be Doubleshot number 537. That's going to be next episode. Okay? But see you next episode. Bye.